For a session presented by the Royal Commission for AlUla, please welcome Executive Director of Destination Marketing at the Royal Commission for AlUla, Melanie Duse, in discussion with Skift Managing Director of EMEA, Kate Irwin.
Hi, we'll squish in. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. What a jam-packed program. Melanie, welcome to Global Forum. I'm super excited to be having this conversation with Melanie about shaping heritage tourism. Before we jump in, for those in the audience that may not be fully acquainted with AlUla, give us the insider perspective of AlUla as this emerging dynamic destination.
Well, firstly, Kate, thank you very much for having us here. It's great to be in New York. AlUla is this county the size of Belgium in the northwest of Saudi Arabia. And it's synonymous with 200,000 years of human history and 7,000 years of civilization. Perhaps best known for Hegra, which is what the Nabateans have left us. And of course, they're associated with their first city of Petra up in Jordan. But what the world doesn't know much about is the ancient kingdoms of Dadan and the Lihyanites, which are the ancient kingdoms of the northwest. And what the archaeologists there are doing is redefining not just what we know about these ancient kingdoms, but about humanity more broadly. Add to that Jabal Ikma, the open library, with its fabulous inscriptions and petroglyphs of the lives and times of civilizations who have traversed the land. And you see it here, you know, you've got the most ancient forms of Greek and Latin. So for us, AlUla was this necessary crossing point on the incense route. And people stopped there because it was always seen as abundant in resources, not the least of which water. And of course, when visitors alight in AlUla, it's the stunning landscapes, 900 million years of geology, juxtaposed with this lush green of the oasis. And that's what they talk about and comment on. And those are the stunning backdrops to everything that we do so well, whether it's adventure or wellness or indeed hikes and trails, stargazing, ballooning, and the like.
Well, I think that's a good kind of 101 on AlUla itself. So heritage tourism.
Yep.
It's an extremely crowded and competitive space. If we think about Petra, the pyramids, these are renowned, iconic, established destinations with millions of visitors. And that number continues to increase as cultural heritage tourism is on the rise and becomes more popular. So how does AlUla enter this established space, but also bring something new to the table?
Well, the first point I want to make is that we have come to the table late. We've only had our doors flung open for international tourism, this is as a country, in the last 5 years. So we really have the opportunity to take stock and learn from the destinations that have got it right, but also from the ones that haven't. And we're very clear that we're going to cap our numbers at 2 million tourists by 2035. Mm-hmm. So this is very much about a sustainability-driven approach to what are very carefully considered master plans. And we are premising our entire destination development on very curated journeys for very pre-identified audiences that we want to ensure have quality experiences.
Yes. So this was something I wanted to touch on. We are hearing all the time about both sustainable and responsible tourism. And AlUla have made it crystal clear that they want to have that at the core of their priorities. But that has to dictate how you develop and grow your destination. So what restrictions or how does that kind of shape how you're developing?
Well, it's simple things. It's like caps on the number of tourists per day in any of the heritage sites. It's a prescription about how you take in those heritage sites, whether it's on predetermined vintage Land Rovers or horse-drawn carriages, but it's all pretty organized. And for us, it's about how do we go about our tourism in a way that is respectful of the environment, both the natural environment and the built environment, and how do we encourage our customers to come with us and share this ethos, because we do think it is so critical in terms of the ongoing preservation of what is such hugely significant heritage.
And we heard Sarah talk to James Thornton earlier on saying that actually doing the right thing is sometimes a bit more complex, takes a bit more time and a bit more money, but the long view is the right view.
I think that's absolutely right. James has got it 100% right.
For sure. So AlUla entered the global stage this year with their first ever brand campaign. It was called Forever Revitalizing, and if we can take a look at the video, share with you today.
You may have never met, but she has nurtured humanity for over 7,000 years. An ancient oasis where culture, literature, and art sprang to life. Her promise is to revitalize, always and in all ways. Welcome to AlUla.
Wow, what an entry to the global stage. Talk to us about the strategic vision that drove the campaign.
So this was our attempt to talk to the 10 key priority geographic markets, really establishing our identity, talking in our own voice, and more than anything, talking about our higher purpose. And for us, it was very important that this campaign did justice to the locals and the community and how they want their homeland portrayed.
Yeah.
We wanted it to be a rally cry to all of our staff that serves as a reminder every day when we come to work about this huge sense of responsibility we have to protect our heritage. We wanted it to be an invocation to our suppliers, our partners, to share in this kind of journey that we're on. And most importantly, it was a brand promise to the customer so that they know we are all about well thought through curated journeys for them. And it would have been very easy to just have created a typical tourism campaign with a smorgasbord of experiences on offer and pretty pictures, but we deliberately steered away from that because this is very much more about our brand positioning, which ultimately translated to our brand campaign.
Yeah, it's beautifully shot. I kind of took away that it's this great illustration of AlUla's combination of, yes, ancient heritage mixed with these stunning landscapes and also combined with these experiences. But you just talked about a higher purpose, and what are you hoping to create for that visitor? What is the AlUla blueprint that you want travelers to come and feel and take away with them beyond that tangible?
You know, I think it's really interesting. Anecdotally, everybody says to me the things that blow them away are the genuine warmth and hospitality of the Saudis. That's something that I hear unanimously. The other thing I'm hoping people will take away when they're actually there is the really considered way we're going about tourism development. And you know, that they see that on the ground and they see the scale of our ambition for so many sectors. You know, we have a conservation project at the moment, and there were shots there of Shiran Nature Reserve, where we have so much great work happening, rewilding, reintroducing the flora that will host the ecosystem to ultimately bring back, we hope very soon, the Arabian leopard. Now, this is a cat of which there are only 200 left in the world.
Wow.
And 50 in Saudi. So that is the pinnacle for us in terms of what we're trying to achieve with conservation. And the same with the arts. You know, we've had, in conjunction with your very own Coachella, we've had 3 Desert X's, and we're hoping that this will be the precursor to Wadi Al-Fan, which is going to be a celebration of the most massive outdoor creative installations by the names in the world in this space. Names like James Turrell, Michael Heiser, Emmett Mata, Agnes Dennis. For a lot of these amazing legends, this is going to be era-defining works. And I hope that people who come here will get a sense of what is in the motion already in terms of building on heritage, but adding to so many sectors that are going to be critical in terms of the customer experience. I think of cycling, Kate. You know, we've just laid 26 kilometers of cycling track, and we host the AlUla tour now, which is, of course, affiliated to the UCI tour. So there is so much on the ground that is a reflection of what is a very carefully considered blueprint for how we're going to grow out this destination.
For sure. And it would be amiss for me not to ask, this campaign has been in market for just over 6 months, since February. What are people saying? What's the feedback?
Well, we're in it for the long run. It's not a campaign that we're going to, in the first 5 months, give you startling results on in terms of traction at the till. But in terms of a brand campaign, it is performing really well in terms of awareness and consideration metrics in our brand uplift studies. We've had over 544 million views.
Wow,
yeah,
big numbers.
Yeah, the numbers are good. And as we move over the next 18 months into consideration and conversion cycles in a phased way across the markets, we have a lot of our trade partners and our airline partners coming on board, and that's when the rubber will hit the road.
For sure. Well, I, for one, am looking forward to seeing how this evolves.
Yep.
Melanie, thank you for joining us today. For those who are keen to find more, you can. We had a lovely QR code. If you wanted to take a shot of that to find out more, or head over to experiencealula.com.
Indeed.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you very much.